Coming up next on the Rockbridge Report.
A well-loved local landmark may be up for grabs. Stay tuned for details.
Buena Vista cops are cracking down, and they're finding more than drunk drivers in your community.
And Lexington is on the move. We'll show you why these people are on a mission next.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Olivia Hampton.
And I'm Athena Howe.
Rockbridge County's long-standing landmark, Natural Bridge, will go on auction block in early November. Although some supporters hope it can belong to the public, its future is unclear.
The landmark that gave Rockbridge County its name will go on the auction block November 14th. But real estate agent Jim Waltz and the co-president of the local conservation group that wants Natural Bridge to become public say the outcome is still up in the air.
Just sort of like a poker game that shapes up at the last minute.
Rockbridge Area Conservation Council, or RAC, has no money for the purchase, and it is unlikely that the state or federal government will pay. Another issue for RAC is the plan to sell the bridge and its commercial properties as 30 separate parcels.
It hasn't realized its fullest potential yet, and if it gets broken up, it could be a real mess.
The bridge has been in private hands ever since Thomas Jefferson owned it. RAC Executive Director Barbara Walsh fears that dividing the property into piecemeal ownership could harm the area's ecosystem.
That critical mass is so vital to the wildlife and conservation value. Once it's split up, it's almost impossible to get it put back together again.
Rockbridge County Supervisor Ronnie Campbell says the ideal outcome is for a buyer to donate the land to the state.
We just feel that it would be very important if the citizens of the United States always had access to it.
According to RAC, ticket prices would be cheaper and tourism would increase under park system management.
It would be a great honor to Virginia to become the steward of that and really see that as the crown park in their system.
Environmentalist and RAC member Chris Wise speaks to the spiritual element of the bridge.
And it's just a feeling, you know, it's actually what I would call a powerful place.
At Natural Bridge, this is Janie Fugate for the Rockbridge Report.
No philanthropic donor has stepped forward yet to buy Natural Bridge.
Last May, Buena Vista resident Michael J. O'Hare was arrested on murder charges. This was the first case of its kind to reach Buena Vista in the last 30 years. The grand jury met on Monday to decide O'Hare's fate, and reporter Sarah Kroshev has their story.
Michael J. O'Hare was indicted by a grand jury on Monday. The Buena Vista man is charged with first-degree murder in the stabbing death of his mother-in-law. He is also charged with malicious wounding of his wife. O'Hare is being held here at the Rockbridge Regional Jail without bail.
Government officials are on the edge of their seats. In just days, our country could face a government shutdown. CNN correspondent Karen Safa has the story on what this would mean for the country.
It's supposed to be like clockwork. By law, Congress is supposed to pass a budget before September 30th, the end of the fiscal year. Hence, a clock ticking towards the government shutting its doors, leaving a lot of Americans concerned.
What we generally see is a sense of concern about really the politics and the ability of our system to compromise and move forward on legislation.
A shutdown wouldn't mean full paralysis. The U.S. Postal Service would still deliver mail, airport security checkpoints would still be manned, the IRS would still collect taxes, and Social Security checks would likely go out on time. But many other federal payments would be halted. As federal workers, the president and Congress could still go to work. Non-essential government employees would be furloughed. Passport and visa applications could go unprocessed. National parks and museums would shutter. Applications for federal housing and student loans could see a backlog. None of this comes cheap. According to the Congressional Research Service, the last time the government shut down in late 1995 and early 1996, the tab to taxpayers was $1.4 billion.
While the shutdown is serious, it's really more about positioning and trying to gain some points for the battle that's going to come.
That battle is over the debt ceiling. The Treasury Department says the U.S. will hit its borrowing limit in mid-October. If Congress doesn't move to raise it, interest rates could climb and the stock market would be in for another bumpy ride, potentially throwing the nation's economic recovery off course. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The Lexington community walked the Woods Creek Trail this past Saturday to promote healthy and active lives. As Corey Smith reports, this is the 4th year of the organized walk.
Like most kids, Colin Bruner loves to move around.
It's one of my favorite things.
Why so?
Because I'm super fast.
But the walk Cullen took on Saturday night was not just for fun. He and others took part in the annual Woods Creek Community Walk. Community members of all ages and their canine companions walked a mile-long loop along the Woods Creek Trail to promote healthy living. The walk is an initiative of Let's Move Lexington.
We try to do monthly events that are free and open to the public, doing different things that get people out moving.
Part of the reason Bruner's group wants people moving more is obesity. Bruner says it's a problem in Rockbridge County.
It's certainly as bad, if not worse, than other places, and so we're just trying to come up with ways to help people get out and get active.
Mayor Mimi Elrod joined the others on the trail from Waddell Elementary to Jordan's Point. It was her second community walk.
I'm delighted to be back this year. I'm a big exercise person. I love to walk, so it's really good to be here.
Elrod thinks Let's Move Lexington is getting its message across.
It's become a well-known group, and it's just been because of the people that are part of it that it's gone so well. So I feel very good about what it's accomplished.
Kids and adults alike said they enjoyed walking the trail.
I feel great. This was a really fun way to end the week, and there was a really good turnout.
Bruner called the event a success.
It's a fun one to do because it's right here. We have this beautiful trail in our community, and it's nice to use it and get people out.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Corey Smith.
Lexington's Let's Move Lexington's next event will be a dog walk at the Virginia Horse Center in October. Search the Facebook page Let's Move Lexington to find out more. Coming up, and find out if you will be able to stay active this weekend or the weather will bring you indoors.
And later, we'll look at an increase in police activity in Buena Vista.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Ever wonder what makes us, the Smurfs, so happy? The forest, of course! This is where we, along with the beautiful forest creatures, make our home with beautiful plant life, clean water, and endless adventures. It's a place to celebrate. So discover the forest with your family today. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Sales of low-priced homes in the Rockbridge area are on the rise, but that doesn't mean young people are staying in the county. The area board of realtors says investors are buying homes in foreclosure because first home buyers can't get financing. County Supervisor Cheroni Campbell says until the county can attract more business and industry, young people will settle elsewhere.
Well, it feels like fall weather is finally coming to Lexington, right, Athena?
Yeah.
Get ready to pull out those sweaters. Maggie has our weather.
That's right, Olivia. Fall has come to Lexington and the leaves are starting to change, so is the weather. Let's take a look at what we saw today. I'm not on camera. Okay. We had highs of 75 today, which was much less than the record high set in 1933 of 98 degrees. Our low was in the 50s, and going towards the evening, we should experience a little bit of fog coverage. So be careful if you're out there on the roads tonight. Let's take a look at our radar. Okay. As you can see, places across Virginia experienced weather similar to Lexington today. Charlottesville was a little bit lower than us at 73 degrees, while Covington experienced a high of 77. So it still feels a little bit like summer there. Let's take a look at our radar now. So as I said before, you can see a little bit of cloud coverage is going to be in the area this evening, but we shouldn't experience any rain. And going into the week ahead, weather should be similar. So as you can see, highs for this coming week are pretty consistent, with highs between 73 and 72 degrees. Lows will be getting a bit colder. On Saturday, our low is in the 40s. So remember to grab the sweater, like Olivia said. Back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Maggie. Looks like it will be a great weekend.
Stay tuned to hear how your local sports teams are doing.
So what you want to do is, have you already enrolled? You're doing fine.
What did that just do?
Select the drop-down menu again.
Wait.
So you're already enrolled. Example here, so don't panic. You're ready to make your payment. Submit. There it is.
Oh my God! I really can't believe it. That's awesome.
Good for you.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose
10,
everything.
9,
Nothing
8,
kills a buzz
7,
like getting
6,
pulled over for
5,
buzz driving.
4,
Because
3,
buzz driving
2,
is
1.
drunk driving.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Or you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach
likes
your
you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Buena Vista police might have discovered more than they bargained for during a DUI checkpoint last weekend. Sarah Korash-Shiv has the story.
For local police and healthcare workers, it's a familiar story.
We do have drug-related arrests. It's very frequent.
Buena Vista police used Virginia Department of Transportation funds and set up a DUI checkpoint on a recent Saturday night. They charged 4 people with drunk driving, but 5 also faced drug charges. The drugs include prescription medications, marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine.
We've had suspected meth labs before. I understand recently they did get one in the county.
The Rockbridge County Sheriff's Office confirmed that there was a small personal meth lab seized earlier this year. Statistics from the White House show the number of meth lab seizures in Virginia jumped from 19 in 2008 to 200 in 2011. That's a 1,000% increase. Officials at Washington and Lee University say meth abuse is not a big problem there, but they know other drugs can be.
The other drug that we're concerned about is misuse of prescription drugs, and that would be Adderall or Ritalin. And we know that students are using it as a study enhancer, but also more and more so as a social enhancer.
Jan Kaufman, Director of Health Promotion at Washington and Lee University, said the most commonly abused drug at Washington and Lee is still alcohol. But university officials worry about students using other drugs as well. Those include marijuana, Molly, ecstasy in its purest form, and cocaine. Though Kaufman does not believe meth is a problem at Washington and Lee, she said it is a problem in the local community.
Rockbridge County as a whole does have a fairly significant meth problem, and there's a significant amount that is actually made in this county.
As substance abuse continues to be a problem in the Rockbridge area, arrests like those at the Buena Vista checkpoint seem inevitable. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Sarah Korashev.
You can find more information on substance abuse in the Rockbridge area at racsb.org.
Bella is going to fill us in on how we can get out and support our local teams.
Definitely. There are many opportunities for fans to go and support their teams this weekend. Both local high school football teams hit the road tomorrow after suffering defeats last week. Rockbridge County will travel to Allegheny to take on the Mountaineers, while Perry McClure goes to Roanoke Catholic to play the Celtics. Rockbridge County is currently 1-3 after losing to Amherst County last week, while Perry McClure sits at 3-1 after suffering their first loss last week at Greenberry East. Washington and Lee and Virginia Military Institute both have football games this Saturday. The Generals look to overcome last week's defeat at Center College. They take on the Sewanee Tigers at 1 p.m. The Generals' record on the year so far is 1-1. The Keydets are also coming off a defeat at the hands of the Virginia Cavaliers. They face the Robert Morris Colonels at 1:30 p.m. VMI is currently 1-3 on the season. In women's soccer, Washington and Lee continues ODAT competition when the team travels to Virginia Wesleyan. The Generals face the Marlins this Saturday at 6 p.m. The Generals are undefeated in ODAT games and are 8-1 overall. Meanwhile, after picking up an 8-0 victory against Washington Adventist, the Southern Virginia Knights travel to Penn State Harrisburg Saturday at 1 p.m. The Knights are currently sitting at 2-5 on the season. Coming up on next week's edition of the Rockbridge Report, does counting incomplete applications boost Washington and Lee's rankings? We dig deeper into how Washington and Lee creates admission statistics and ask how the university's strict honor code affects the questionable numbers.
That's our show for tonight's Rockbridge Report. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to check out our website at rockbridgereport.washingtonlee.net.
Thanks, guys.